Well, here we are again, take two with Jerry and Debbie and you. Thank you for tuning in. We love to have you part of the Take Two family, and we would be so blessed and honored if you would participate in today's conversation. Once a month, we open the phone lines to you to talk about any relationship in your life, any one at all. If it's great, tell us about it. If it's not so good, maybe we can talk it through for a minute or two and give you some ideas or tips and tools to make it a little bit better. The phone number is 833-288-3986.
Every relationship is on the table. We'd love to converse about it and see if we can make it even better, or highlight some things that we can all learn and grow from, or discuss some things that are really problematic in relationships these days. So you don't have to be Catholic to call in. We expect you because that's what makes this show work. Okay, when you call in, it makes the show work. And thank goodness we pretty much almost always have full phone lines plus, which is wonderful because we love those robust discussions. And this is our relationship show, and we do like to walk away a little bit changed, a little bit closer to God. Charles is on the phones, Ace McKay is at the controls, and Jeff Burson's at social media. So everybody's in place, and we just wait for you.
All right, again, 833-288-EWTN, 833-288-3986. There are some other ways you can get your thoughts and takes on today's topic to us. You can email take2@EWTN.com, and you can put the number 2 or spell out the word 2, and it gets to us, take2@EWTN.com. We have a lot of you watching on YouTube and Facebook, so hello to you great people there. And you can also send us your thoughts and comments at the show website, which is take2show.com. But we certainly would love to hear your beautiful voices by phone. Charles is already screening calls, 833-288-3986, talking all about relationships today. It could be the foundational relationship that you have with God. How's that going? How's your prayer life? How are you advancing on the spiritual journey? It could be your relationship with your spouse. Could be one of your kids, with a parent, with a sibling, with a boss, a coworker, a golf partner. I had to get that in there, Debbie.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah, that's true. Any relationship, your relationship with food, your relationship with money, your relationship with anything, everything is on the table with relationships. Because that's why we titled the show All About Relationships. So let's call in and share and grow together as the mystical body of Christ. The number to dial, you'll speak to Charles, is 833-288-3986.
I know the temptation to think, there's couldn't be anybody else in the world going through what I'm going through right now. Well, we know that there are probably many people going through what any one of us is going through, what you're going through right now. So when you get on the air and we sort of take a look at the relationship that you want to discuss, and hopefully you hang up the phone with a little bit more hope and peace and joy in your life, that countless others may do exactly the same thing who don't have the opportunity to call in right now. So we always say your takes on this program mean so much to your fellow Take Two family members. So keep that in mind and share whatever you'd like about a relationship in your life at 833-288-3986.
So we do expect your call. We're a very friendly, very welcoming platform. If you've never called into a live radio show, let it be ours. We would love to get you started on that path. That would be wonderful. You have something to say. Your story matters. Your relationships, they matter. We care. Okay. We truly care. We mean what we say, and we really walk the walk, talk the talk, or we try to. And that's very important. But this safe platform is for all of us to really explore what's going on in the world, speak the truth, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and to walk away with a better understanding and hopefully closer to God. I say that several times during every show because we really mean it. So if you sit this out, you pass this up, you think somebody else is going to call in for you and ask on your behalf, it probably won't happen. So if you feel that little nudge in your spirit, now's the time to call in at 833-288-3986.
And thanks, affiliates, for carrying the program and all of our show team in place today. We mentioned them already. This show could not be done without not only just the immediate show team, but all of the great people at EWTN kind of behind the scenes who we don't get a chance to give kudos to on the air every day. But please, everybody at EWTN has one purpose, one goal in mind, and that is to bring you closer to God, no matter what their role is in putting the show on. So Debbie and I have the great blessing of kind of being the faces of Take Two with Jerry and Debbie, but there are many other people who make this show happen. So we always want to be sure, Debbie, to give our deep gratitude and love to all of the Take Two show team, including those who are kind of fill in when they have to, or those who are just totally behind the scenes.
Absolutely. Great support team all around this wonderful platform that we can come together on this live call-in show. Speaking of faces, you guys are sending in messages saying that you see me back on video. I feel so glad I get to wave to you on YouTube and Facebook. Yes, I am feeling better. Thank you for the prayers. I still have a little bit of a headache, but I'm going to offer it up, okay? And I just love being back on video with everybody that's got their chats going right now. So, but call in, because we do have a room for you at 833-288-3986. And let's talk about a relationship that is important to you, because you are the key person. This show exists because of you. And we want it to be for you, and that you can pass it on to others so they can learn and grow together. I love that, Jerry. I spoke about it at the Fullness of Truth conference last weekend, where I said, I'm so happy that EWTN has brought this type of platform to all of the lay faithful, that we can come together and really have a voice in media. And that's huge.
It is. So, folks, unless you're a hermit or hermitess, I hope that's the way you say that, then you're in relationships. And actually, even if you're a hermit, you're in a relationship because you're trying to grow closer to God. But otherwise, the rest of us in today's world, we live with families, we go to work, we go to jobs, we get out to the gym sometimes, we have people that we work out with, we have people that we do projects with, there are certain civic organizations we might belong to. So the list could go on and on of the number of relationships. I think we'd be surprised if we ever did kind of a tally of the total number of relationships that we're each involved with. So if there's one you want to try to make better, or if it is super good and you want to just give a shout out to somebody and thank them for being in a good friendship and relationship with you, either way you want to do it. It's all about relationships today. It's your show. 2 lines are open right now. One of those can be yours at 833-288-3986.
Fire TV player. All you need is a high-speed internet connection, a TV, and the Amazon Fire TV player.
Here is today's quote from Mother Angelica's perpetual calendar. Love is a power that produces and accomplishes. Men have died for love and sacrificed land and possessions for love. Love is that invisible quality of soul that moves the will to manifest kindness and goodness. Love makes strangers friends and is a bond stronger than death. Mother Spiral Bound Perpetual Calendar is available at EWTNRC.com.
This is Michael O'Neill. I'm exploring the greatest mysteries and marvels of the Catholic Church on The Miracle Hunter, Saturday afternoon, 1 p.m. Eastern on EWTN Radio.
Carry the faith wherever you go. Watch the EWTN series, specials, events, and news streaming live from anywhere in the world. Streaming is available on the EWTN app for Apple, Android, and Amazon devices. Download the EWTN app at EWTNapps.com today.
This is EWTN, Catholic Radio.
All about relationships. That's our topic today. It's a monthly show. Do is call in at 833-288-3986. Before we go to Vera in Ontario, Canada, let me just share with our listeners, Jerry, don't miss the latest political and cultural reporting and analysis on topics of interest to Catholics and people of faith on the world over with Raymond Arroyo. And get news from the world over in your email inbox every week. All you have to do is sign up today. Visit EWTN.com and click on subscribe.
All right, awesome. As Debbie said, we're going to go to Vera first in Ontario. And Vera is with us today via the EWTN app. Hello, Vera. Thanks for calling.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for taking my call.
Sure, absolutely.
So I called yesterday, actually, but you didn't have time to get to me, so I'm calling back this morning. But there was a lady, I wanted to make a response yesterday to the lady who had called in, and she had said that she had dropped everything to put her trust in God, and she moved up to Alaska, and she was working for a Protestant organization, and she said that she had been experiencing hostility from them once she declared she was Catholic. So I wanted to, and she was worried about finances in case she had to leave that job. So I just wanted to make a response to help her out, because I'm in the same situation and I know what I'm going to do. So I thought it might be helpful for her. But what I did want to say quickly first was that she was spot on, because nobody drops everything to move to an isolated place to be in the hands of God unless God himself asks them to do it. Mm-hmm. So he hasn't deserted you. He knows he answered you. Secondly, I'm very proud to be walking on the road with a Catholic who's not afraid to declare the fullness of truth from the only church who has it. And that just, I'm really happy about that. But anyways, so I'm 58 years old, and I'm a retired psychiatrist, and for complicated reasons, I got into some pretty bad debt, and I decided I had to sell my house before losing it. So I did put it up for sale, and it sold in one day for $30,000 over asking, and I was able to pay off all my debt. But of course, that money only lasts so long, and I have a disability where I can't go to the workplace. And so I'm thinking about what I'm going to do. Just last year, it came to me that what I'm going to do, the only way that I'm going to be able to work without going on some kind of disability, is to do it remotely. So that's what I'm going to do. And you can work for any company on earth remotely. And there's a lot of Catholic agencies all over the world that need people and need them to work remotely. So that's what I'm looking into, and I'm also going to do some business things with my skills and what I know as a physician. Mm-hmm. But aside from that.
So Vera, can I ask you, is that what you are suggesting, that Debbie from Fairbanks, Alaska, her name was Debbie from Fairbanks, Alaska, if you're listening, Vera called back specifically for you. Are you suggesting that Debbie just get really creative and do something from home so she can still stay in the area of Alaska that she's in and still, see what God has planned for her, but, to explore that being at home?
That is exactly what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Stay where she is for as long as she can, because God may have put her there. Like you said yesterday, Debbie, God may have put her there. And, if they're starting to workplace bullying her, all she has to do is say, I'm going to pray for you, and walk away. And eventually they're going to get the idea, hopefully, that she's pretty much, her faith is strong and she's not moving. Right. But, so if God keeps her there, then that's where she should stay. But I think if she's only working part-time there, I think she said, that starting or working online, looking for a Catholic organizations that are looking for people to work online, right. I think she should go and do that.
Right. But Vera, can I just share something with you? First of all, I want to just say I love your heart. I love the fact that you care so very much. You took the time to call back 24 hours later, to send a message to Debbie in Alaska because you care. You talk about, this is our show on relationships, and look what you did. The beautiful gift of sharing your own journey, and then you in hopes that it could help, a sister in Christ in Alaska. God bless you, Vera. You have a beautiful heart, just a compassion and a love for people. That's what Jesus asked us all to do, to love God above all things and love our neighbors as ourselves. And you did that. You did that today. Thank you. Wow.
Yeah.
This is why I love Take Two, Jerry.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Great call. Thank you for that. We have a line open now at 833-288-3986. Any relationship you would like to talk about, good, bad, indifferent, somewhere in the middle, brand new relationship, a long time one, 833-288-3986. We'll go to Houston, and we have a first-time caller by the name of Yvonne or Ivan. Yvonne, how do you say your name, please?
My name is Ivana Moore.
Ivana, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a mouthful, I know.
Sure. So what would you like to share?
Thank you so much for taking my call. It's the first time I've ever called, but I wanted just to share that communication is so difficult these days on every level, and particularly, with the new generation that communicates via texting and other means. We don't always have the facial and the physical elements that help communication, because empathy and love and kindness sometimes comes through your eyes, your smile, and your hands. I know we live in a society where everyone has to have their personal space and you're not supposed to touch people, but there are ways of touching people in a respectful, loving manner, and I think people are needing this. So I'm not an expert, but I have to say that whenever I have a difficulty in communicating something, either professionally or personally, I really ask our Lord to inspire me. But I happen to go to Saint Anthony of Padua often, since he's our patron saint for things that have been forgotten, things that have been lost, and things that we cannot express. So I try to ask him to help me find the words or the manner to communicate something, and to help me not be offended if it doesn't go my way, and to stay in God's peace. And this helps me a lot, with difficult negotiations or things, even in my own family. I'm working on it. It's always difficult no matter what. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's always an everyday battle. But with the grace of God and through the intervention of St. Anthony, I feel peace when I'm doing this, even if it's a touchy, difficult subject. So that's one message for me that helps. And another thing that helps a lot is having friends and sharing with friends. And many communities before, the women, they would gather and they would needlepoint, or they would do things together, etc. The men were out working. And so the expression, on those levels was fun and light and joyful and sometimes sorrowful. But it's refreshing sometimes to gather with your friends, to say, come over for a little cup of tea. How about we do a rosary now? This person needs a prayer, and sometimes with my friends that are not Catholic, and I have a lot of friends in my profession that are not even Christian, but I always talk about my faith. I don't hide it. More and more, I realize that it's a form of evangelization. So I tell them, well, do you mind if I say a little prayer since you're here with what you've just spoken about? All our best wishes, and Lord, help this person. And I realize that people are often, they're very accepting of it, and they're very respectful. I've rarely come upon a situation where they wouldn't be, thanks be to God.
No, I think you're right. No, Yvonne, I think you're right. A couple thoughts I have here, and I think people are more open to that than we realize. Sometimes we think, oh, this person's going to reject me. They're going to say, get out of my face. No, I don't want any of that God stuff. But I think a lot of people would be craving something like that, even if they don't know what it is that they're craving. But you were talking about so many important things. Face-to-face communication is so important. So much, as you said, is missing without it. We can send a billion text messages between ourselves and somebody else, and it does not have the inflections and how we say the words, and words sometimes have to be explained. I don't think we've still seen the danger of what gadgets are ultimately going to do to us by way of our interpersonal communication, but. You're right. It's doing things with actual living people is still it's a missing art sometimes, but something we really, really have to focus on, I think, anyway.
Soul to soul contact, communication, and Yvonne, I totally agree with you. The pandemic caused us to separate. We're going to have to work to be together. We're made for community. Blessed Carlo Acutis, the very young 15-year-old saint, amazing. He would always try to connect eye to eye with people. As a matter of fact, after he died, people would say that they would come up to his mother and say that Carlo had light coming out of his eyes. So, the eyes are the windows to the soul. We've got to connect. It's the way we're going to lift people up. That's why there's such a low grade depression that's out there. It's terrible. We've got to come together and we got to work at it. So thank you for the call. First time caller, you were no longer. We hope you call us again, definitely, from the great state of Texas.
All right. We have another first-time caller as well, Deborah in Big Rapids, Michigan, listening on the EWTN app. Welcome, Deborah.
Hello. Thank you for taking my call.
Anytime.
This is the relationship. A gentleman in my high school graduating class I had not seen in 50 years. We graduated from a Catholic Central High School in Michigan. Over that luncheon, that reunion luncheon with other classmates, he's sitting across the table from me, and he casually told me that he is now a Freemason. I am familiar enough to know that this is anti-Christian, anti-Catholic organization, and to my knowledge, it's an automatic excommunication. I was shocked and dumbfounded, and I said nothing. I'm asking you, this may never happen again to me, what would be an appropriate response?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you have a chance to maybe send a letter to this gentleman? Do you know if he's a practicing Catholic today?
I did not ask. And
okay.
I don't know.
Okay. What you may want to do, Deborah, this is just a suggestion. Pray about it. I would also talk to whoever, like if you have a spiritual advisor, if you have a priest that you talk to. But you can internet search now. You can just type in Freemasonry and Catholicism, and up will come many articles about how exactly what you just said, that it is a Catholic cannot be a Freemason. A practicing Catholic cannot be a Freemason. It's an opposition to our faith. What I would do is send him a beautiful note saying, it was so great to see you. After 50 years, we went to Catholic school. I'm not sure. I didn't want to put you on the spot if you're a practicing Catholic. I just have to send you this information because I love and care about you so very, very much. So do with it what you will. But please read it, because being a Freemason is not healthy for your soul. What do you think of that, Deborah? Is it something that you could do? That and you don't have to twist his arm or preach to him or anything. You're just presenting the facts.
I think that's a marvelous answer. It is helpful to me. What I will do is sleep on it and pray for discernment, and contact him in a gentle way. Yeah. I thank you so much for the helpful advice.
Yeah, if I can just add real quickly, Deborah, I did a little looking online here, and at present there is not the excommunication attached to that. It said from 1738 until 1983, Catholics who publicly associated with or publicly supported Masonic organizations were censured with automatic excommunication. It says since 1983, the prohibition on membership exists in a different form. Then down a little bit further, it talks about the Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith, 1983, stated that faithful who enroll in Masonic associations are in a state of grave sin and may not receive Holy Communion. So they're not necessarily excommunicated right now, but they're in a state of grave sin and are not to receive Holy Communion. And it says, the most recent CDF documents that talked about the incompatibility of Freemasonry with the Catholic faith. That was issued in 1985. So
that's right. And also, Deborah, Adam Bly and I, we did a show on the spirit world. It's in the archives at EWTN on Freemasonry. So if you maybe, you could even send them the show because Adam did a whole history on it, and it could maybe help this person. So there's some resources, some information, some tools, but we'll pray along with you, Deborah, and God bless you. Again, another great soul caring about other people. Wow.
Yeah, right on. Joan is coming up. Jennifer is coming right up shortly after the break here on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. And others we're going to get to, including your call. We have a line open on our All About Relationships show. What relationship would you like to share with us? 833-288-3986. If it's not really going well, perhaps we can all talk it through and it could be a little bit better for you.
The Apostle. We'll also discuss how to build healthier marriages with pastoral counselor Kevin Prendergast and talk Bible foods with Rita Heichenfeld from AboutEating.com. Plus, all the latest news, weather, sports, and everything else you need to start your day a better way.
The Sunrise Morning Show, tomorrow at 6 a.m. Eastern on EWTN Radio.
There are hundreds of billions of stars in our galaxy and over 100 billion galaxies in our universe. When you think about that, it's easy to feel insignificant and small. But I think God is looking down from heaven saying, you're huge next to all this. Look, as big as the mountains are, can it make a choice? As big as an ocean is, can it love someone? As big as a galaxy is, can it change directions? No, but you can. More than anything in creation, you're the mirror image of God. You have a soul. You have an intellect and will. You can know, make decisions, give and receive love. And ultimately, you're made to share in the love of God forever. You stand apart from everything, and you'll still be around long after all this has passed. Sure, you're physically small in this universe, but when you think about the ways that you and all people stand out from the rest of creation, you're kind of a big deal. This is Chris Stefanik from RealLifeCatholic.com.
Pray for the protection of unborn children with a free pro-life prayer ebook to help guide you in prayer, to change the hearts of those who compromise the call to protect and defend life. Get your free ebook today at EWTN.com/profile.
Hi, this is Janet Williams. You don't have to be a woman to enjoy Women of Grace tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern here on EWTN Radio. Now, back to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie.
Well, we're so glad you're with us for Take Two with Jerry and Debbie here on EW. St. Rose of Lima. When I was a seminarian, I did my pastoral year. That's an internship year at St. Rose of Lima Parish. And she's always had a special place in my heart. So be sure and rejoice in the feast. Every day we have a beautiful feast day, it seems like.
I know. I love the Catholic Church. I love being Catholic. Let's hear what Joan has to say in Gillette, Wyoming on Real Presence Radio. First time caller. Did I get your city correct, Joan?
I'd rather not have the city mentioned.
That's quite all right.
Yeah.
You go right ahead.
Thank you. Yes, I'm a first-time caller, and I listen to you guys all the time.
Oh, cool.
Thank you.
I have a daughter that's 38 years old who recently told me and her father that she no longer believes in God, or doesn't. She certainly questions whether there is a God. She's leaning towards believing that there is no God. She was raised in a very Catholic home. But what had happened to her a member of the clergy told her repeatedly, and others, that demons and devils and evil spirits are out there attacking everyone rampantly, and they will scratch you and hit you and chase after you physically and emotionally, mentally, and you need to be on guard over this and watching for this. And there were prayers that were said to do to overcome this. And she just told us now recently that she spent her whole high school years and all of her college years looking over her shoulder, looking for evil spirits and devils to be coming after her, and it caused her depression, and she's been in counseling over this, not a Christian counselor at all, somebody, I just don't know what to say to her. I don't know how to even come back on this. I finally yesterday ordered Trent Horn's book. I can't think of the name of it, and I don't have it in front of me. When I Googled on Catholic Answers, atheists or responses to evil spirit questions, and his book came up, and one other, and I can't remember the names of them. I don't have them in front of me. One of them is white with gold lettering, and that was the second book, and then Trent Horn. I don't know what to say or even where to start. I've talked to her a few times, and she's willing to talk. And the counselor told the regular counselor told her, you can tell your parents if you want, but you don't have to. You don't have to bring this up. You're 38 years old, almost 40. You don't have to do this. You can walk away from this.
Right. So, Joan, let me just jump in first, and then Jerry, I'm sure, will have some things to share. So she's 38 years old. She's made this decision, and it's based out of some information that she received either in an incorrect way, or it was delivered in too harsh of a way for her to be able to absorb it and put it in its proper place, so that it didn't cause any type of depression and stuff like that. That's understandable. I mean, sometimes people in religious education, some deacons, some priests, they sometimes don't even know how to handle these subjects, and so they do present them in a way that is difficult for people to receive them. And people want peace, people want joy, people want to live their life. They don't want this thing feeling like there's somebody around every corner trying to hurt them, or somebody in the closet, going to pop out and scare them, or in their bedroom at night going to attack them. Absolutely, that's incorrect information that was given to your daughter, or your daughter received it incorrectly. I'm not quite sure. It could be a little bit of both. But there's time to fix this. If she's willing to talk about it, I think books are great, although if she'll read them. But I also think there's a lot of programs out there that you could maybe send her and just say, hey, could you listen to this? I would preview things first, and then let her listen to them. I can tell you that the co-host that I work with on the weekends, Adam Bly, he's a religious demonologist, and he is amazing at bringing comfort to people about the situation with angels and demons. Okay, so he would be a phenomenal resource for your daughter to look into. His work is incredible. He just put out another book, his fourth book, and it rose to Amazon, with the top of Amazon, first place within a matter of 2 days. So there's so many resources and YouTube videos and information out there to calm your daughter about this and to bring her back to center. It sounds like she's open. That means she hasn't completely closed the door on God. I think we get very creative. The only thing that worries me about books, Joan, is that a lot of people, I know this because I've done this many times. I've sent people a book, and then I follow up and I said, have you read the book? And they are honest with me and they say no. And then it just collects dust on the shelf. So what do you think, Joan? Is there a way we can get creative? Maybe you could preview some stuff that your daughter can listen to or watch that can maybe help her and bring some comfort and peace and perspective, so that she can get back on the journey of faith.
Yes, and this would be her husband as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to extend a invitation to you for you to email me. If you email me, I will send you some links that you can preview first, and maybe you can send to your daughter and your son-in-law. Okay, the email is take2@ewtn.com. Just say, hi, this is Joan, and then I'll connect and send you some links, okay?
No, so is the 2 a number 2 or TWO?
Either one. They'll both get to us.
Okay.
Start over on the email address.
Yeah, it's take, T-A-K-E, take the number 2, or you can spell out the word 2, T-W-O. Either one will work. Take2@EWTN.com.
Thank you. I will do that.
Okay. Hold on just one second, Joan, if you would. Our call screener wants to give you a piece of information as well. Important call there, though, Debbie. What's that?
Call to communion? Yeah.
Yeah. They
And
want to give her the call to communion email address. Yeah, but my thoughts on that, are just simply that we should, because of who a priest is, and this is a priest in this situation with their daughter. We should be able to go to a priest, and whatever he says to us, we could just soak it in, and take it in because he's a priest, and that is. But sometimes, I just feel like this was incomplete information.
Yeah.
There are demons who are trying to pester us, if you want to put it that way. But like you pointed out, Adam Bly, a religious demonologist, says it all the time. If you're living in a state of grace, if you're receiving the sacraments, you don't really have to worry about it that much. So
that's right.
Hopefully, Joan's daughter can get that piece of information that was missing before, and like you said, find that peace and get back on the journey of faith. I love the way you put that.
Thank you. Well, and I know there's a couple episodes of the Spirit World that I think can really help Joan's daughter and son-in-law in this situation, because you don't want people to be afraid. Adam always says it. Remember, Jerry, the demons are on a leash, and God permits certain things for our good to get stronger and not to frighten us and make us scared about life. So there's so many things we can talk about that, but it is all about relationships show, folks, and you still have time to call in. If you have a relationship you want to highlight, do a shout out, talk about, complain about, just use your confirmation name if you don't want to out anybody. That's cool. 833-288-3986.
Okay, we will talk to Jennifer now in San Antonio, Texas, listening on the Guadalupe Radio Network. Hi, Jennifer.
Hello, both of you, Debbie and Jerry.
Hello.
Great to see you, Debbie, this past weekend. Like I was telling you, Debbie, about relationships. It's good to connect in person and give each other hugs like you and I did, and say, don't be afraid to get together, have lunch, have, some kind of get together. Because especially after COVID, people are still afraid to get together, and you can't be afraid. And people are still scared. Like I was telling you, those masks don't work worth a darn, really. And people are just so afraid, and piggybacking on what was already been said, and look at how packed the conference was on Saturday, right? It's great to see that people could come together and not be afraid to be in such a busy conference facility at the Hyatt. And that was a great feeling to see so many people coming back and rejoicing in God and praising Him and soaking in from all the speakers, from yourself, and from when everyone else had to say. It was just a beautiful experience, and that they could just, be there and all of it. And I also wanted to share from that last speaker how she was afraid of what I guess her daughter was going through.
Sure.
And remember when I was asking you, which book do you think from Adam Bly would be a good one to get? And you said the one on miracles. Well, I have an aunt who, if she is not Catholic anymore, but I think if she had gone to confession herself, that she had shown some very scary situations. I've seen some very scary, her voice changing dramatically in front of me and some other scary things. And we had a priest come and watch her for about an hour, and he said that she had mostly mental illness, but had some demonic oppression. And if she had just gone to confession, that would have probably taken care of all of it, if not most of it.
Right.
And so that piggybacks on everything that y'all had just said. And so I think that if that was something that can be looked into, but they need lots of prayer.
Well, and Jennifer, thank you for sharing that, and you just reiterated what Jerry was saying too about confession. It's so important, and Adam Bly talks about it all the time. Get to confession, wipe everything clean, make sure you just start over in a healthy state, in a healthy state of grace. You're spot on, Jennifer, and to have 1,500 people in a convention center listening to all these wonderful presentations about how to get stronger in your faith, and the miracles do happen, and God is in the miracle business, and he wants us to succeed. You're spot on again. Amazing. But Jennifer, I have to tell you, it was wonderful to give you a big hug, but you have to tell our dear Matthew, your son, that we are so proud of him, and you are a great mom, and we're just so thrilled that you love Take Two and you called in and shared with us today, and we want you to make sure that Matthew gets that shout out, okay?
I certainly will, and he loved that picture of you and I. He saw that, and he just got this big smile on his face and just loved it.
Beautiful.
And again, I just wanted to let y'all know, and another thing is I learned from this priest is that the evil one, he gets in mostly through mortal sin. So if there's a mortal sin that has not been confessed, that I've learned that's some, and I'm like, whoa, and I can see that to my aunt, and so I would just keep that in mind for those out there to remember that go to confession, because that will wipe out most of 99%, if not all of it.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, and let's be honest, we can't bury our heads in the sand. I mean, there is a demonic presence, a demonic reality that we need to be aware of, and the demons want nothing more than to drag our souls down to hell and be in misery forever with them. So that is a reality. But the thing is that Adam always stresses, as you were mentioning, Debbie, again, the demons are limited in what they can do, and if we are simply in a state of grace and going to Mass and praying and just all the basic things we need to do, we don't need to be looking over our shoulders thinking, they're going to get me. They're going to get me. No, they're not going to get you. They're going to tempt you. They're going to try to make you commit sins and so forth. But we have, by virtue of our baptism and the gifts the church gives us, we have the ability to tell the demons just get lost.
In Jesus' name, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you, Jennifer. God bless you. Jerry, you've got a lot to share with our listeners.
Well, congratulations going out to another member of the EWTN radio family, Queen of Heaven and Earth Radio in Fairbanks, Alaska. They have been on the air for 10 years with EWTN programming, and we want to congratulate Steve Mullins and his team at KQHE from all of us at EWTN, and I'm sure one of the programs they carry is The Doctor Is In, which comes up right after our show. It's Monday through Friday at 1 Eastern Time. Dr. Ray takes calls and talks about family, marriage, and relationships. He's very good at what he does. He raised 10 kids. That's The Doctor Is In with Dr. Ray Garendi, weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern here on EWTN Radio.
Okay, another first-time caller from Scottsdale, Arizona on Sirius XM 130 is Mary. Hi, Mary. Welcome to Take Two.
Hi, thank you so much. I've been a long-time listener and really love everything that you offer all of us.
Thank you.
I have a very unfortunate situation with my brother who is cradle Catholic, but not really practicing. He's got two girls that are in Cathedral High School in San Diego, and and then his son also graduated from Catholic high school. But the issue is his wife, she's not Catholic. She's coming to visit, and their marriage is just it's just in demise. He's unfortunately gotten into some Bitcoin issue, and they're basically losing everything. And she is at the point, she's gotten past she's at the very angry stage. Sure. And she's very open to speaking with a priest. She's coming out this weekend. I'm hoping maybe she could talk to one of our priests. She's very interested in Catholicism. And I just need guidance. I'm not sure. I've encouraged her to talk to her priest there in San Diego. She's just a little timid. I want to break that ice for her, and I'm just not sure how to do it.
Sure. All right. So do you know if you have an appointment with your priest, Mary, where you're at that she can speak with, or is she going to get ample time? She's not going to be rushed because this is her marriage.
Exactly. And this is what I'm wondering is if this is even appropriate. I do have tentatively a date and time set up, but as I start pondering it and I'm listening to, I just don't know if that's an appropriate thing. If sure. Perhaps I should go to her parish maybe and set up that appointment and accompany her there. I think she would like me to be with her. She said, Good. There's nothing I don't know that she hasn't shared. So I just,
Okay, so you're a beautiful soul for doing this. How old are the children?
Oh, well, one just graduated. He's in college, and then the other two, one's starting 9th and the other's 11th grade.
Okay, we need to get them help. Okay, these kids will suffer from this breakup. We need to get them help. So, Mary, if you feel up to it and you're willing to do it, if you can email me, I will get you some information that maybe can help, or some contacts that can help with your sister-in-law. Okay, if you email me,
I would love to.
You got it. No problem, Mary. And you're right here in Scottsdale. If you need any help, I'm just about 45 minutes away from you in Gilbert. So the email is take2@EWTN.com. Just say this is Mary from Scottsdale, and we'll connect, okay?
Oh, Debbie, thank you so much. I certainly will. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're beautiful. I love that family is stepping in, trying to help families stay together. It's important. So thank you, Mary. God's going to bless you for this. Believe me.
Well, thank you. Thank you both. Take care.
Okay. You're very welcome. God bless you. A lot of prayers going out for that situation. Unfortunately, we hear about a lot of marital relationships that are not in good shape right now, and that's the one place that Satan wants to attack the most. Maybe is marriage and the family. Right now, we've heard that from Our Lady of Fatima. So
right. Well, and let me go back to Mary's call. Mary is stepping in as a sibling, and she's stepping in to try and save a marriage, save a family. Families need to jump on board and try to help these families. The marriages they're under attack. We know that, Jerry. And a lot of times people just kind of have a hands-off attitude, like, well, it's your life. I don't know what's going on behind closed doors. That's not the answer. There's kids involved. Those children will suffer. There's no doubt about it. And I've always said this. This is why I believe God hates divorce, because of what it does, especially to the children. Because the children, and if people think that children can handle it, they can't. There's been many books written on it, how adult children of divorce have suffered in their own relationships and going on with their own relationships. Jerry, you were a product of divorce.
I was at the age of 7, even though there was much strife in our home leading up to that for probably several years. But I've heard also, Debbie, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, that even when people are adults, when parents get divorced, when the kids are in their 30s, 40s, 50s, that they still suffer a hit when that happens. Is that
absolutely? That's true. Yeah.
Okay.
It's true, because it's not meant to be. You want your mom and dad together. You want that. It's complete. Whenever something is fractured like that, especially when it's been ordained by God, right? When God wants a marriage, when wants a family, and we in our humanness split it apart. there are it wounds people. It wounds people at many levels. Now, some people will say, "Oh no, it was better off. My parents fought all the time. I'm so glad they got divorced." Okay, they may say that on the surface. I understand that, but there's still a wound that has taken place. We don't break covenant relationships. This is a covenant that God instructed for all of us, and so when we go against it, we suffer. We suffer either emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually. So it doesn't
Well,
discriminate.
our mutual friend Deacon Harold Bergsivers likes to say, divorce is when the parents put down the cross and the kids pick it up. And, because kids are just built that way. They just want to help make everything right, patch things up, and then they would feel like it was maybe their fault. And none of this, if any of you are listening who have had divorces, this is not an attack on you. We've done shows asking you to call in about why you regret your divorce, and there are remedies for these things, possible annulments, there's confession, there's changing the way you live, perhaps, if you've remarried again, but God does have his perfect plan, but he never abandons anybody, no matter what you've done in your life. So I just wanted to say that. That's a very important point to get out.
Well, and let me just share something, because we have new listeners all the time. I mean, full disclosure, I went through a divorce. I went through the annulment process. So I'm speaking from experience. I'm speaking from the fact that what my kids went through, what I went through mentally and spiritually and psychologically. I mean, it goes on and on emotionally. So yes, I mean, there's no judgment here. It's just what happens because of what God had. It's God's plan. It's God's way. And when we do something different from that, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't always work out the right way. And so that's just the way it goes with everything with God. There's God's way and then there's our way. Right? So, and we live with that. But Jerry, can I just highlight something about tomorrow? Because I think tomorrow is going to be a really, really impactful show in many ways, because given that we're coming off of the pandemic and there's still a lot of text messaging going on, a lot of all this kind of virtual stuff happening. Well, because of that, there's a lot of gossip happening as well. And tomorrow's show is, how do you handle gossip? Now it's getting to the point where everybody just feels free to gossip about everything and anything. And reputations are being hurt, lives are being destroyed, families are being hurt, kids are being bullied. It's not funny, it's not right, and let's quite frankly, it's very sinful. So we want to know how you handle gossip. We're going to share how we handle gossip. We'd love to hear from our Take Two family.
But even speaking just for myself, it is so easy to get sucked into a gossip session with somebody else, and you have to really be on your guard. And no matter what our communication means of communication is, we have to ask ourselves, am I gossiping? Have I crossed the line and ventured into that dangerous and, like Debbie said, sinful area? So I'm glad we're going to be talking about this on tomorrow's show.
Yeah, I think it's great. And we just want to, again, do a shout out because it's a relationships show. So our call screener today is Charles. He did a fabulous job. Charles, give yourself a pat on the back. Our producer is Ace McKay. And Ace, as our Take Two family knows, oh, wow, he is just the best. He's out there constantly promoting the show and parts of the show that he thinks will be of interest to you. Jeff Burson on social media. Wow, they call him he's an expert, and he truly, truly is. And Jerry, we're just so blessed to have this great EWTN Global Catholic Radio Network to let the Take Two family come together. So Jerry and I, our hearts are bursting with love for everyone.
Yeah, we really do love you guys, and thank you for your love and support as well. It's great to hear
Jeff's
from
birthday. Did you see that real quick? He just texted over. It's his birthday.
Oh, wow. Happy birthday, Jeff. How old are you? He won't reveal that. But I hope it's a beautiful day. This should be a fantastic celebration, not only at the network, but with Jeff and his family as well.
Yeah, we're going to get that virtual piece of cake, though, again. We never get the real cake, when they celebrate. Same as you. So what's that? How old are you?
62.
Wow. Wow. Very young. Very young, Jeff. Keep going. Okay, and so until tomorrow, folks, have a beautiful and blessed day. And we always ask St. Joseph, please pray for us.
When you find yourself peering into life's rearview mirror, wondering if your past will forever define you, it doesn't have to. Go to Stanton